Ya vienen los touchdowns. ¿Estás listo? Esta temporada de la NFL convierte las jugadas grandes en premios con DraftKings Sportsbook, un socio oficial de apuestas deportivas de la NFL. Descarga la app de DraftKings Sportsbook y usa el código HEART. Ese es el código HEART para recibir $200 en bonus bets al instante cuando hagas tu primera apuesta de $5. En colaboración con DraftKings, la corona es tuya. ¿Problemas con el juego? Llama al 1-800-GAMBLER. En Nueva York, llama al 877-8-HOPE-NY o envía un mensaje de texto con la palabra HOPE-NY al 467-369. En Connecticut, hay ayuda disponible para problemas con el juego. Llama al 888-789-7777 o visita ccpg.org. Juega responsablemente. En nombre de Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. Debe ser mayor de 21 años. Pueden aplicarse cargos en Illinois. La elegibilidad varía según la jurisdicción. No válido en Ontario. Las apuestas de bonos son de un solo uso. La apuesta no se incluye en las ganancias y caducan después de ser otorgadas. La oferta finaliza el 29 de septiembre 2025 a las 11:59 p.m. hora del este. Los términos en DraftKings.com/sportsbook/promos.
Oh, hot, 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 hot! Hot, 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 hot!
Hot topic. Hello and welcome to the Neurospicy News Hot Topic.
I fell into a burning ring of fire.
Feeling
The
hot,
news
hot,
was
hot.
hot and the flames went high.
Hot, hot, hot.
I need to get more hot songs in my repertoire to sort of sing at the beginning. But yes, news, spicy,
And
hot
what
news.
is the spicy news today?
Oh, the 7 key signs of autism in adults aged 40 and over, and apparently over 90% of people over 40 with autism, or I should say are autistic, the Independent, are undiagnosed. That's
Yeah.
a lot of people.
And the article came out on the 2nd of September, so that's hot off the press.
Oh, straight. It's still warm. I can feel the ink.
Yeah, it's like morning bread at the bakery.
Ooh, smell it. Take it in. So
Crunchy.
apparently, Jordan, yes, most autistic people over the age of 40 in the UK are living without an official diagnosis, according to new research. Researchers at the Institute of Psychiatry, Psychology and Neuroscience at King's College London reanalyzed research on UK healthcare data from 2018 and estimated that among autistic adults aged 40 to 59, 91.45% of men and 79.48% of women have not received a formal diagnosis.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of people. This adds up to an overall underdiagnosis rate of 89.29%.
That's crazy. That's basically
everybody.
9 out of 10 autistic people are not getting diagnosed. That is a lot of people that could potentially be getting support, assistance, answers, a chance to understand themselves, a chance to be part of the community officially. By the way, even though you don't have to get a formal diagnosis to be part of this community, as we've discussed many times.
Absolutely.
If you believe you are neurodivergent, then I'm not going to ever say you're not, and no one else should say that you're not. I think
absolutely.
We know ourselves well enough, and we know enough about neurodivergence to be able to see it within ourselves, because it's not a medical issue. It comes with medical issues, as I'm experiencing at the moment with my hypermobility and my EDS screwing up my back. But being neurodivergent itself, being the alternative neurotype, that is not a medical thing. It is just a different part of humanity. But getting a diagnosis, as we've said this before, it really helped me and helped you. Being able to be officially diagnosed and also help my wife and kids get accommodations, help my kids get extra time doing exams and stuff. But also it's helped me in work get accommodations officially.
Oh, yeah.
And I personally know quite a few people, mostly in their 30s, some in their 40s, and some even older, who are definitely neurodivergent, but they don't even want to try and get a diagnosis, not only because the list is so long, but also if they would try to go private, they wouldn't be able to afford it. And also there are so many people like, well, I've come this far. Why should I bother?
Yeah,
and it's
it
like,
frustrates me so much when people say that, because I'm like, yeah, but if you found out that you had an extra hand behind your back, wouldn't you want to use it? Like, that's
high five your back.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you've had one hand tied behind your back your entire life, and you found out you've now got another one. Would you like to use it? And you just go, nah, just leave it where it is, be right. But yeah, and I'll continue with the article. The study, which was published in the Annual Review of Developmental Psychology, also found that this number increased even in older age groups. It found that 96.29% of men and 97.19% of women that are autistic over 60 are thought to be undiagnosed, an overall rate of 96.51%. In contrast, they estimated that the rate of undiagnosed autistics for 20 to 39-year-olds is 52.54% and 23.34% for those under the age of 19.
See, I fell into the bracket because I was diagnosed at about 36, 37. And so I fall into the bracket of that 52%, which is still really bad. But given the climate that we're in at the moment, especially when it comes to diagnosis, which is why it's so fantastic. Let me say this again. It's so fantastic that we have just released a new ad, and we've got a new partnership with RTN because they've now moved, as well as doing private, they are now doing right to choose. They have done thousands across the whole of England. They have done thousands of assessments through from the NHS that have been passed over to them. And you can go now, you audience can go and follow the link that is in our episode from yesterday. We'll stick one on here as well. I suppose.
Yeah, it'll be in here as well.
Cool, nice one. It's free. It's free. Well, I mean, the NHS is never free. People pay for it, but it's free for you to use the NHS, and you can go and get a private diagnosis through the NHS with RTN. And it's just wonderful. There is now thousands of people who RTN are helping who would never have got a diagnosis because they're still be on that list now. And it's a wonderful thing. So we have now partnered with RTN in order to promote the right to choose, in order to help our audience members and help even more people have that option of being able to fill the forms in, which again are linked to this podcast. You better fill all the forms in, and you can go and get the help that you deserve by getting the answers that you deserve.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to reiterate as well, the right to choose through RTN, if your consultant-led autism or ADHD assessment is more than 18 weeks wait, you can go choose RTN. All you've got to do is download the GP referral letter and the questionnaire from the link in the show notes, which you'll find if you scroll down on our episode, wherever you're listening. Take those to your GP, ask for a referral to RTN Diagnostics. If approved, RTN will be in touch within 8 weeks to begin your assessment, which 8 weeks in the grand scheme of things is it's a blink. It's absolutely nothing. I had to wait I think it was 6 months even for a private one when I had mine a couple of years ago. So that's why we've partnered with them, because we think they're amazing to work with. They've done all of your family.
They're the best.
Yeah,
man, I trust them so much. I've been working with them for a long time now. My whole family have been working with them, and we've all been, assessed by them with one thing or another, and they're just fantastic. But going back to the article, it's tragic because, like I said, the older people get, the less they want to go through that process. The more they think that it's like, what is the point? I've come this far. I think that's the key thing. And also, I think a lot of people who are that age, they're just so high masking that they don't even realize it. So it's a lot of other people that are like, yeah, I think maybe you might be autistic. And they're just like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I found as well with this sort of missing generation, because this is some of the like reading that I've read and seen or heard about it now. And I know for a fact a lot of people that listen to this show are over the age of 40, some even in the 50s and 60s. Hello, if that's you. And I get messages all the time from people that go, I got diagnosed at 55. I got diagnosed at 58. I finally feel like I have some answers. And I still think that there are a lot of people from this sort of generation that go, but I have a job and I'm married and I love trains. I can't be autistic. And it's because of the lack of information that is, was in their period of growing up, and they go, oh, but I'm just quirky. And, that's where people seem to fall, I think.
Well, that's why this podcast is going to help a lot of those people. And that's like we talked about advocacy the other week, is that, that's what we're here for. We're here to help people understand that, you don't have to be, the kid sitting in the corner rocking in order to get a diagnosis. Mm-hmm. You can be like us. We live life. We have jobs. We have partners. We pay mortgage. We pay tax. And
we go to concerts. We go to football matches. I'm going to go see people. We're going to go see the Chelsea versus Liverpool Legends next month, which is really, really cool. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah. So, like us,
we have lives.
You can, and you, and we, and you are autistic. So to me, it's advantageous to follow that up, but it isn't for everyone. So you don't have to. You don't have to. But I believe that it's your right to be able to. So if you want to, that's why the right to choose is such a great option, because it gives people that option to be able to do it now rather than, 8 years of stupid like that? 8 weeks or 8 years?
Right to choose.
Yeah, 8 weeks with RTN, 8 years with the NHS.
Yeah, it's quick maths for me.
Yeah.
But even the article goes on and says, autism assessments can be the first step to understanding people's needs, and a diagnosis can be life-changing and in some cases, life-saving.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a really wonderful article, and it's really interesting. It's harrowing because because my heart, and I know your heart, goes out to all those people that are just sort of living in limbo almost, But here we are. So if you're listening, with this article, I mean, look, we don't know how accurate these are, which is why this is actually the first time we're reading through them, so we can react to them. So we're in the same boat as you, audience members, as in we don't know how good these are. And I, as a specialist, and Scotty, as far as I'm concerned, becoming a specialist, we will use our insight and knowledge to maybe adjust some of these, but who knows? Maybe they're perfect. So do you want to start with the first one, Scotty? Ways, how many is it?
7.
To be fair, that's all you need. I might add some at the end of this.
We've narrowed it down.
Yeah. So 7 ways to see if you're autistic in your 40s.
Yes, the 7 key signs of autism in adults, so the article says. So this comes from Dr. Lisa Williams, clinical psychologist and founder of the Autism Service. They have shared 7 subtle signs of autism that go unnoticed in adults over the age of 40. Number 1, resilience on structure and predictability. Older autistic adults who have remained undiagnosed for much of their life often fall into a set routine which can make them feel more comfortable and in control. Reliance on this can become more noticeable with age, as unexpected changes and disruptions to this routine can trigger stress and anxiety. Signs of a reliance on routine can include extensive planning ahead, sticking to daily habits, and feeling unsettled by spontaneous or sudden changes in plans.
See, I absolutely agree with this from the perspective of if I wasn't diagnosed and I didn't have the knowledge and understanding of myself and how autism affects me personally, because that's always the most important thing, is it's not, oh, I'm autistic, is how are you autistic? How does it impact your life for the positive and negative? But this is definitely me before I understood how change massively affects me. And the thing that I personally put in place was having options. So reducing my expectations and having more options. But I mean, I like a routine as far as when I really have to concentrate. But I like a bit of chaos. I like a bit of chaos in my life to keep it interesting, chaos, man.
Yeah, I love chaos with a deadline. That's what I like.
I love chaos that I can control.
Yeah, I like that I'm given a specific window for chaos, but I have a certain amount of time to do it in. Yeah. And that's sort of where I thrive.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like it. I like
that one. Number 2.
You get a tick from me. Having specific or obsessive interests. I don't like the word obsessive. But anyway, it's not uncommon for anyone with autism to develop deep interests in particular subjects or hobbies, but this can be especially the case for older adults. This can appear to be a lifelong passion, but if it dominates their free time and tends to be something they talk about almost obsessively, it can be a sign that this person falls somewhere on the spectrum.
In the spectrum.
Yeah. Then again, I don't like obsessive. Yeah.
I'm okay with obsessive if I'm talking about myself, but I don't think that you should put that label on others, because I think that they should be able to speak about themselves. And this is what always annoys me about
that's a good point.
People speaking about autistic people rather than speaking about ourselves. And I think the word obsessive sounds so negative.
Because I'm obsessed with music, but if somebody told me I was obsessed with music, I'd be like...
It sounds rude.
Yeah.
I definitely, so I don't think that obsessive should be used, especially in a medical article by a medical professional. They shouldn't use the word obsessive. That comes across as nasty, and it's so negative. It's like, well, a lot of our hyperfixations are temporary. That's why they're hyperfixations. But a lot of our hyperfocuses, a lot of our special interests can be incredibly wonderful. And I mean, just look at my photography, how much that has helped me, how much that has helped others. I mean, I wouldn't be here talking to you if I hadn't posted that picture, if I hadn't been obsessed with photography.
And we wouldn't be doing a podcast if I wasn't obsessed with audio and podcasts.
Exactly. So, we can call them obsessions. That's up to us. But I don't believe that others should be able to call them obsessions. But it is definitely a sign of being autistic. It is one of the major ones as far as I'm concerned. It's definitely one that I look out for when I'm speaking to people. And they say, oh, yeah, I really, really like this one thing. And then they just talk about this one thing. I mean, I noticed very much with the guy at my work, just Star Wars. But he knows a lot about science fiction in general. But then he really fixates on Star Wars. It's so specific. He's interested in lots of things, but then it was like, but more so with the Star Wars. And, the guy's 100% autistic. But again, he's in his late 30s, undiagnosed. So once he turns 40, he's going to be in this bracket of undiagnosed, because he says he doesn't feel like he needs to go through it because he understands that he is. He accepts that he is. I mean, it's obviously very helpful because he literally works with me and asks me many questions and I can help him through it.
Well, he's going to get more info from sitting next to somebody like you than anyone else.
But not everyone has me sitting next to them. So
unless you're a subscriber of this podcast.
Exactly, yeah. Then I'm basically in your house and I'm talking to you right now.
Ooh. Let me in.
Yeah. What? Don't let him in. He's creepy.
No, he's obsessive. Number 3, sensory sensitivities. Heightened sensitivity to key sensor sources. Sensor sources? What are they? Sensory sources. I'm not dyslexic. Like light, noise, smell, and textures can persist into later years for autistic adults. Noticeable discomfort in crowded and loud environments or with particular fabrics might indicate sensory processing differences typical of autistics.
Yep, absolutely. We literally did our whole episode yesterday on sensory issues and how they can be positive and negative. Again, it just sounds negative, but at the end of the day, we're trying to get people to understand they're autistic, and it's a journey.
And labels are the enemy. And I mean labels as in the back of your T-shirt, not
Yes, sensory labels, not autism
sensory
labels.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, that's definitely a good one. I can't argue with that at all.
So number four. Numbers. Struggles with change. Change can be especially challenging for older adults who may have undiagnosed autism. Moving house, which is a sensory hell, starting a new job, or adapting to new technology can draw out natural anxieties about a lack of predictability and familiarity. Consistent signs of this can be a hallmark of the autism.
Okay, so a lot of this does sound like PDA.
Yes.
PDA can be caused by many things for me personally. And one of those things is anxiety and unfamiliarity, is the fact that so many tasks, so many things that I do, they feel, one, they are more difficult because just life in general is more difficult for me. But they also, I end up making this mountain out of a molehill in my head, and everything seems to feel a million times harder. Even if it is harder, it seems to be even harder. But it doesn't stop me from doing things. And I think this is really, really important, because I do talk to a lot of autistic people. They go, "Oh, I can't do that because of my PDA." And I'm like, I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't do.
But I'm in your camp as well.
You can do that. It's just harder. But that's up to everybody. But if you say I can't, then you might as well say I never can.
Yeah, and I agree with that, because I had that energy of, I was like, oh, I'm autistic now, I can't do any of this. Yeah. And I could do it before I was diagnosed.
Yeah. You become your own worst enemy, and it's like you have no one else to blame but yourself if you can't push yourself over that hump. If others refuse to help you, which is tragic, if others refuse to help you, or others start pandering to you and start mollycoddling you, or you're mollycoddling your kids, or whatever's happening, you've got to understand, this is the real world. The real world will not pander to you. It will not mollycoddle you. So you need to prepare yourself or your loved ones for the real world. That doesn't mean you push them. That doesn't mean you ABA them. That doesn't mean you punish them. That doesn't mean any of those things. It just means that you can't just turn around and go, I can never do that because of this. It's like you can. And I'll always think this, because, okay, this is all disabilities, PDA, anxiety, these are disabilities. But I remember when I was younger, I watched a video of a really inspiring guy who was born with no arms and no legs, but he could swim.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And I will seeing this never, ever not think about this guy, because the fact is, he was his life, he was an inspiration. He would go and talk to kids and show how disabled people can do things. Now, not every disabled person can do everything that they want to do, but it doesn't mean you can't try. It doesn't mean you can't push yourself. When I see a man with no arms and no legs swim, I'm like, I can at least try and do everything that I can possibly do. So yeah, we do struggle with change. This is definitely one. And if you're out there and you have these anxieties and you feel like everything is harder, then yeah, you might be autistic.
Absolutely. And another thing I was thinking of, just to add to that, mate, what you were talking about, is when I told myself I couldn't do things, it was like having mental atrophy. Like when you have an injury and your muscles shrink, that's what my brain did. It felt like my world shrank, and I was like, oh, I can't do that anymore. I can, I just need to learn how to do it again, was the thing. So number 5, difficulty in understanding social rules. Unwritten social norms, such as eye contact, small talk, respect for personal space, body language, and understanding subtle humor, just a few examples, can be more difficult to understand for older adults with autism. People with autism, or autistic people, it should say, often think differently from neurotypical people and can interpret things much more literally or struggle to pick up on these subtle social cues. This may result in feeling out of step in social settings or needing extra time to process interactions, even with years of life experience.
I'm loving these. I mean, except for the fact that the community has asked a million times to say autistic and not with autism.
It annoys me that it says neurotypical people and then people with autism.
Yes, Because if you're autistic and you prefer saying I have autism, then that is your choice. And I would never in a million years try and tell you how you should identify. But we have asked the media as a community so many times to not do that. And it's that same thing of saying, they say obsessed, which they shouldn't. They shouldn't say obsessed. They shouldn't say suffer. They shouldn't say lives with, because that shit pisses me off. Lives with. It's not an auntie that's staying over for the weekend, for crying out loud.
Yeah, do you know what? If they're not going to, rather than saying people with autism often think differently from neurotypical people, it should be neurodivergent people often think differently from neurotypical people. If you're going to say people with autism often think differently, don't say neurotypicals, just say people without autism. Because if you're going to use half a label in one and then not use it right, just commit. But that's the thing that frustrates me, is like, as a culture, we've got our terminology, we've got our labels, we know what they are, and yet the people that are doing studies about us don't. That's frustrating.
When it comes to race, when it comes to gender, when it comes to sex, I will go out of my way to understand and do my best to make those people from those minorities, respected.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I will always ask, how would you like to be identified? How can I make you feel comfortable? As soon as it comes to autism, as soon as it comes to neurodivergence in general, there's very few people that give a shit what we think.
Yeah.
They go, well, we've told you this, and then that's it. So that obviously does frustrate me.
It can be condescending, yeah, absolutely.
But at the end of the day, this is helpful, and that is definitely one of those things. Difficult in understanding social rules. Hell yeah. I mean, it's like, it's basically, even when we build a mask, even we try and fit in. For years and years, obviously, I did not know that I was autistic at all, but I knew that I did not fit in no matter what.
Oh, yeah. I knew there was something going on. I just didn't know what it was called.
So, yeah, if you do feel like you're on the outside looking in, or you're a Lego brick in a Duplo world, if you do feel like that, being autistic could be the answer. So, look into it.
Absolutely.
Number 6.
Struggles in romantic relationships. Adults with autism may experience challenges in forming or maintaining romantic relationships. This can include difficulty expressing or interpreting affection, discomfort with physical intimacy, or preferring independence over cohabitation. They often thrive in relationships with partners who are understanding of their needs, communicate openly, and are willing to adapt to their preferred ways of connecting.
I can't disagree with that, but it does sound like
it's harsh, isn't it? A little bit.
I would just like to say, I think everyone struggles with relationships. Yep. I think that humans struggle romantically.
Dating's really hard.
But yeah, I wouldn't say that if you struggle romantically, you are possibly autistic. But the way that they have said that you may struggle romantically is valid, I guess, for some people. I don't know if I would put it in my list. I would definitely have stimming here.
Yeah, absolutely.
That if you have tics, or you get comfort from squeezing your hands, or movement, if you find that certain movements or touching things, getting certain sensations, if that you find that calms you, I would say that that's definitely a sign that you're possibly neurodivergent. For sure, yeah. I would also say that if you find yourself going back to things that make you more comfortable, like rewatching TV shows, rewatching movies, listening to
wearing the
songs,
same t-shirt
over and over again, wearing the same clothes, not liking, different textures of new clothes and things like that. obviously they've done the sensory thing, but I think more specifically, yeah, absolutely. If you find yourself wanting to do the same thing over and over again, yeah, that could be a routine, but it's more specific than that, than just, oh, you like routine in general. Because a lot of people might think routine is, oh, I get up, I clean my teeth, I have breakfast, I have my coffee. Like everybody has routine. But neurodivergent routine is more about finding comfort and control of your environment, because most of the time we feel so out of control that we have no control. So we crave control. We crave being in control of anything that we can grab our hands onto. And it can be detrimental to our relationships, detrimental to our friendships, detrimental to our work, because we are so desperate to not feel out of control.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, number 7.
And the last one, integrating difficulties in the workplace. While many autistic adults excel in specific roles or tasks, they may struggle with aspects of workplace integration, such as adapting to frequent changes, navigating office politics, or participating in group meetings that feel overwhelming. However, supportive managers who provide reasonable adjustments like clear communication or flexibility in work routines can help them succeed, if they exist. Without this understanding, autistic employees may face unnecessary stress, conflict, or even unfair disciplinary action. Well, that was a bit personal.
Yeah, I mean, the first part of that basically is just repeating stuff from the previous. So I don't feel like 7 really counts.
Yeah, it's kind of, this is a bit like you struggle in relationships and you need routine, and you struggle with change and sensory sensitivities. All of those things make work hard.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically. It's basically like, do you hate your job and everybody there? Do you hate the fluorescent lights and the food in the canteen and how Dave laughs at his own jokes? Maybe you're autistic.
I would say that another sign is struggling with being touched, being around too many people.
Oh, yeah. I hate having my face touched.
Yeah, so being touched unexpectedly as well. You know, like we've said before, like on a train or something, someone brushes past you.
Somebody like slaps you on the back, like, you're doing a great job. Like, get off me.
Yeah, like just like we as in me and you, and definitely the people I know, we crave personal space. So if you're somebody that craves personal space, that can be another sign as far as I'm concerned. But it's interesting because, you know, I mean, I don't see how these are signs of autism in people over 40. I would say that these are just signs of autism in general.
Just in general. Replace workplace with school.
As soon as you're an adult.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, as soon as you're, because obviously you've got romantic stuff here as well, but as soon as you're an adult, I would say that these would suit anyone who's an adult. But I think it becomes harder to spot it in yourself, or at least admit it to yourself once you get into your 40s and 50s and 60s and so on, because I think that we end up becoming our mask. So especially women.
And it's that whole thing of like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And as what you were saying as well, I think about the women in my life. I mean, all of my grandparents are neurodivergent. I look at it now and it's so obvious. It's almost laughable how I never picked up on it. And every time like I ever think about having these sorts of conversations with that generation in my family, my mum just goes, oh, they're too old, they won't change, they can't think differently. And I agree but also disagree, but agree but also disagree. And you know, I don't think at any point in your life, I know I'm only 31 years old, but I would like to think at 62 years old, if you know, I would be able to make changes for my own happiness and my own sense of identity and security. And, you know, I don't think I would want that to change.
How I look at it is, you ain't dead yet.
Oh, I ain't in the ground yet. I ain't dead yet.
If you ain't dead, then why not try and get a better quality of life for however long you have left? Even if, whether it's 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever it is.
Now we're living to long time.
Yeah, the
now.
longer we live, especially in the Western world, my friends, science is on our side, as it were. And I just think that if you turn around and, especially if you're only in your 40s or 50s, and you turn around and go, well, I've made it this far, you're doing yourself an injustice. I think that, like I said, no one needs a piece of paper, but there are so many benefits, but also why not? That's my answer to, well, I don't need it. And they go, well, if you don't need it, then why not just go and get it anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's nothing negative to having it.
Do you know what? You've hit the nail on the head there. That is the one thing that I've never understood about that sort of answer, where they go, well, I've got this far, I don't need it. And I go, well, if it's not a life or death thing, if it's not going to, if it's not a lose-lose, if it's a win-lose or a win-win, whatever, if you don't think there's really going to be any repercussions, then what is the harm in having it? It's like people go to all sorts of people with crystal balls and go, tell me my future. I tell you what, if you have a diagnosis and you know who you are, you're moving into the future with a lot more answers about yourself. You can start self-advocating and rectify some of the mistakes you're making. And you go, why do I feel crappy about this or myself or whatever? And it's because you don't know who you are yet. It doesn't matter if you're 5 years old, 55, 85. Having those answers is such a blessing. It really is. So, thank you very much for listening. I think that was a good one. We will attach. Will we? Well, Scotty, yeah,
we.
Yeah,
I don't do anything. I'm useless. Scotty does everything.
Yeah, no, it'll be there. Don't worry, guys. It'll be in the description below. If you're already listening to this, it's already there, so don't worry. But I'm interested. I know I get so many messages. I know you do as well, Jordan, way more than I do, about people later in life that are coming to, understanding themselves, whether that's through finding this show or a little bit of information, or even just somebody pointing it out to you in an unknown situation.
I got one from a 70-year-old who had just been diagnosed, and she said,
I love that.
She said, thank you so much, because if it wasn't for us, talking about our experiences, she would never have had the confidence to go through with it. And she felt seen because of us. So,
and that's why we do it, isn't it?
That's why we do it.
So I love that.
Good things
happen. So thank you so much for listening, everybody. We will be back on Thursday with another episode. By the time this one comes out, Jordan, Ashley's show will have started on a Monday. How exciting.
It was amazing. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I was so glad to listen to it. I can't wait to listen to the other one. So that's every Monday, Mindful Mondays with Ashley Bentley. Brilliant show that's now in your feed. So go and check it out. And as always, everybody, you wonderful lot, take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Stay safe out there. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Nightly, bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Neurodivergent Experience. We hope today's episode sparked something for you, whether it's a new idea, a bit of validation, or just a moment of connection. Remember, new episodes are every week, so be sure to join us for the next one for more conversations and insights into the neurodivergent experience. If you've enjoyed this podcast, help us grow. You can do that by rating and reviewing this show. Your support makes a huge difference in helping us reach more people who could benefit from these conversations. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just search for the Neurodivergent Experience. Thank you again for listening. And until next time, take care of yourself. You're not alone in this journey.
Only Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile.
We'll give you a free year of service.
Free year?
When you buy a new 5G phone.
New 5G phone?
Enough.
But I'm your hype man. When you purchase an eligible device, you get $25 off every month for 12 months with credits totaling 1 year of free service. Taxes extra for the device and service plan. Online only.
Ya vienen los touchdowns. ¿Estás listo? Esta temporada de la NFL convierte las jugadas grandes en premios con DraftKings Sportsbook, un socio oficial de apuestas deportivas de la NFL. Descarga la app de DraftKings Sportsbook y usa el código HEART. Ese es el código HEART para recibir $200 en bonus bets al instante cuando hagas tu primera apuesta de $5. En colaboración con DraftKings, la corona es tuya. ¿Problemas con el juego? Llama al 1-800-GAMBLER. En Nueva York, llama al 877-8-HOPE-NY o envía un mensaje de texto con la palabra HOPE-NY al 467-369. En Connecticut, hay ayuda disponible para problemas con el juego. Llama al 888-789-7777 o visita ccpg.org. Juega responsablemente. En nombre de Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. Debe ser mayor de 21 años. Pueden aplicarse cargos en Illinois. La elegibilidad varía según la jurisdicción. No válido en Ontario. Las apuestas de bonos son de un solo uso. La apuesta no se incluye en las ganancias y caducan después de ser otorgadas. La oferta finaliza el 29 de septiembre 2025 a las 11:59 p.m. hora del este. Los términos en DraftKings.com/sportsbook/promos.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. They're the home of the #1 checkout on the planet and the not-so-secret Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales happening. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds and Skims use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/start selling. All lowercase. Go to shopify.com/start selling to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/start selling.